How do I, 18 male, deal with living with 2 dogs when I can't stand dogs? Throwaway account so I don't get hate for disliking dogs. I'm also unsure if this fits on this subreddit, but IDK where else it would go. Sorry if it's long. Right off the bat let me say, please don't turn this into something to convert me to like dogs. I've been around them my whole life. I've met countless and even dogs sat for people. I don't think dogs are horrible or deserve harm. I simply just do not enjoy being around them. That won't change. On to the story. My father needs to have a dog. So we have always had at least one. I am fine with this. Expect a few months ago my dad got it in his head he wanted 2 dogs and my younger brother, 17 male, agreed with him. Right off the bat me and my mother were extremely clear we did not want this. Not just for not liking them. We live in a small house currently. It meant to only house max 3 people. My brother's room is essentially a closet that only fits a bed and a dresser and not much else. 2 dogs, which are large breeds, would make it even smaller. We also have no fenced-in pen and it's also too cold to leave them outside. Along with that, my father works out of town 4 days out of the week. And my brother is very rarely home. So, the people who would actually be caring for them would be the 2 who did not want them. Well, my dad decided he didn't care the reasons why not. He wanted the dog. So my dad brought home a month-old puppy to live along with our year-old dog. I feel like I'm living in hell. The only thing that happens all day is my mom screaming at them to get out of the way. The dogs slamming into each other and furniture playing. Them barking and howling and jumping on everything and everyone. My dad cares for them fully when he is home, yes. But the 4 days he isn't, my brother maybe gives them 10 minutes of attention before they annoy him and he leaves for my mom and I to handle. And we both can't stand them. Let me note quickly we don't harm nor neglect the dogs. They get fed on a schedule and walked often. Our yard is large so they have a big area to sprint around and play in. But it is my mother and I who have to do this when my father isn't home. Since this other dog has came into this house I have felt nothing but stress or anger. I find myself taking long showers because I start to shake from stress. But even when I do I still hear them scrambling around and my mom yelling at them. My dad will not give the dog away unless it's actually killing one of us. He lavishes them with more attention than my mom. But I do not know how much of this I can take. I don't want to hate these animals for being themselves, but Christ, I'm so tired. I dread leaving my room. How do I handle this? Edit. Yes, I'm aware of the fact I have to move out. I cannot currently nor for a while. My question is how do I handle my stress and them until said time I can leave? Major dog lover here to say it's okay not to be a dog lover. Ask your dad and brother to deal with the dogs, especially your brother. He's home daily, isn't he? Why isn't your mom taking away his privileges or something for not taking care of the dog he so insisted on with your dad? Also, maybe move out. Save up money. Get your own place. That's it, man. You don't get to choose what you deal with when you don't provide. You are currently being taken care of. You're on the same level as those dogs. Use this as motivation to get independent as soon as possible. That's disgusting. No offense. The smell alone would put me off. Your dad needs to pay up for a dog trainer, and possibly doggy daycare for a few of the days he's gone for work. There's no reason for them to constantly be barking, howling, and running amok, other than the fact that nobody has committed to teaching them not to. It sounds like even your brother is getting worn out by dealing with the chaotic energy that an untrained dog can bring on. Try to get he and your mom on board and go to your dad as a united front. My dad got it in his head he wanted 2 dogs. My father works out of town 4 days out of the week. Therein lies the problem. When I was younger, we had 3 dogs, with clear responsibilities. I had one of my own, and that meant I'd walk him, and only him. But your dad wants to come home to 2 dogs to play with, without any of the responsibilities. Having dogs in a household always changes some dynamics. Dogs do smell, they leave hair, they will sometimes destroy stuff, and they need attention. But I don't see any advice besides moving out. You really have not much say in the matter, and the dog was already brought in, and giving dogs away really isn't much of an option. Your father is a complete asshole. I'm sorry that he's worn down your mother like this. Rehome the dog and tell your father it ran away. I feel that your father and brother, even though they love dogs, are actually abusing them by insisting on keeping them in a really small place. That is what worries me the most. Honestly, the dogs sound like they have too much energy and/or are poorly trained. Would training the dogs to be less rowdy indoors calm your stress levels? What about getting your brother to walk them to tire them out? At least then the dogs will be out of the house for a while. I think this calls for a family discussion where your mother has to actually stand her ground, not let your father do whatever and then complain. Just saying. Family time and rules for dog care when he's home and when he's gone, chores and dog training. You all can get the dogs out of your hair simply by having them trained and maintain the training, and that will make for happier dogs, peaceful family life and order in the household. I admire you for not being a dog person and caring for the dogs. All these people saying, get rid of the dog, so you not think he'll just get another dog. A month-old puppy. Your mom needs to at least stop yelling at them. I trained my dog without raising my voice, so now he listens to my normal speech. I also praise him whenever he gets it right or is definitely trying. If he's trying but misses, I show him again. It really is cruel to leave a dog untrained. Then all they know is disapproval and, if their owners are childish and selfish, yelling. There are YouTubes, books, local classes and sometimes advice lines through the local humane society. Teach them some manners and they'll be much easier to be around. They might not be neglected in the sense that they are fed and walked, but not giving them the attention and training they need is neglect, and yelling at them is abusive. Your brother needs to step up. This isn't negotiable. If he won't, rehome the dogs. I'm sorry for your situation. I'm assuming that finances location don't allow putting the dogs in kenneling daycare for the days your dad is gone. Either way, I would let both your parents know how you feel, and whether they care or not, see a doctor about the stress. Sometimes they can recommend therapies like writing here, or combinations of therapies both physical and medical, that let you manage stress until you can find a job. I hope this helps. Make your room a dog-free zone that you can go to whenever you are feeling overwhelmed by the dogs. Burn some incense candles to get rid of the smell. Also, do you have any activities that you do outside of the home? Try and find a hobby that you can leave the house to do that is also COVID safe. If that isn't possible, maybe just going on walks alone with some music. Find activities that give you a break from the dogs and the noise and the smell. Unfortunately, until you get your own place, this is the best you can do. I wish you the best. Ask your father to board the dogs while he's gone. Tell him you all don't have the time or energy the dogs need and that they could also use the socialization of being around other dogs. Dog owner here, large pit bull, your dad should not be getting a second dog. In fact, he shouldn't even have the first one. He works out of town 4 days a week, so most of the time, the dogs are being left in the care of the people who don't want them. He's not in the right position to have a dog at all. I don't have advice for the situation, I just want you to know that your instincts about this are correct and your feelings are valid. Don't let them in your room, put responsibilities on your dad, brother, don't acknowledge them. Living with 2 big dogs in an apartment meant for 2 people, there's 4 adults, has made me start to hate big dogs, especially when all my injuries the past 4 months were caused by dogs. I'm not that pressed because I am moving soon, but I know how you feel. I can't really see any other way than forward. Most dog breeds are very trainable. You need to read up on what the needs of the breed is. Retrievers will want to play fetch a lot. Other breeds have other needs depending on what their tasks was when they were a working breed. They need mental stimulation to get tired just as much as a walk. There are a lot of strong opinions on how to train dogs, but any regimen is better than none, which seems to be the current situation. If they are walked, mentally stimulated and get some obedience training, they will likely be a lot calmer indoors. Okay, there is a lot of advice on dealing with stress and anxiety, lots of YouTube videos with calming talking. You could look into ways to distress that feels right to you. I find it helps to visualize a place that you feel calm, or imagine what it would be like to have a space with no dogs, and by that I mean really imagine. Describe the furniture, look out the window, choose wallpaper. Really go all out in making this space real, give it a name, practice this exercise when feeling calm for a while, then when you are stressed you can try using it to calm yourself down. Some people also use music from one particular artist can help as well. You don't have to be a dog lover. But you're also 18 years old. If you don't like the way your dad is doing something in the house he owns, you can get your own place. But until you can do that, you're kinda out of luck. It sounds like the dogs need some proper training, and that would almost definitely make them easier to live with, but if you don't even like dogs to begin with, you're probably not keen on training 2 of them by yourself. Basically, good luck. Headphones. It sounds like a lot of the issue is your mom stressing you out and the dogs barking etc. stressing you out. Get a good pair of noise-canceling headphones immediately. My dad will not give the dog away unless it's actually killing one of us. Simple, aggressive solution. Get rid of the new dog when he's gone and have your mum and you stand your ground. He's a grown man. The only people who need a dog are those who actually rely on service dogs. He wants 2 dogs and 2 dogs clearly aren't working. A compromise is keeping the 1 dog. You and your mum have done enough and your brother and dad need to deal with this. I would suggest dog-free. Someone already mentioned it, but doggy daycare and training. I take my dog to work with me boarding and dog daycare, and he literally sleeps all day after a few hours of daycare. Training also tires them out. I am a huge animal lover, why I work with them, but I don't blame you one bit. Have your dad pay for training and/or doggy daycare. Sit him and your mom down about it. I am sure your mom would love a few days a week where it's quiet and jump on board with that.